Hi everyone. In this video I will be showing some K-pop debuts that were kinda bad, in my opinion. This video is not meant to spread any hate, I am just giving constructive criticism to these artists because I genuinely think their agency should have given them a better debut song. If you're going to comment stuff like stop hating, then don't even bother, I'm allowed to state my opinion, and if you don't wanna hear it, then just click off the video. With this being said, let's get into it. This is like the only title I dislike from Stray Kids. I usually love noise music, but this song is just not for me. I know it has a nice meaning, but for me it's a skip. I started standing them because my sister showed me the My Pace MV, but if she showed me District 9 I don't think I would have stand them that quickly. Anyway, I'm happy about their current music and this is the only title that let me down a bit.
My love is like water.
I wasn't even expecting anything, to be honest, because main vocalists usually make their solo debut with a ballad. But this song was just too underwhelming and boring. Maybe it's just because I dislike ballads. It's just flavorless. I just wanted something similar to Changmin's style. He can showcase his vocals and still have really nice songs and a distinct concept. Only because she's a main vocalist doesn't mean they should give her such boring ballads. It took me months for this song to grow on me, lol. People were really hyped about this group because there were some contestants from Island. I was also really looking forward to this group because there is a former 1THE9 member. But their debut ended up being a huge disappointment for me. I think it didn't really have any impact because at first everyone was super hyped about Just Be, but then they debuted and nobody talked about them again. It's just crazy how people barely talk about this group. The agency did them dirty. Their concept is so cool, but the execution could have been better. Their comebacks were fire though, so I really wish they can gain popularity again. I wish they debuted with something a little stronger because this song didn't really stand out. Yeah, I acknowledge that it's a popular song, but I just personally don't like it. I've tried listening to it a few times, but I can't even finish the song. It's not my style at all. I feel like the agency chose a really good debut song because it had a great impact and Everglow are quite successful, but I personally would have preferred a different style and maybe something with less autotune. Their other releases are so good and their discography is actually pretty amazing. No Everglow slander allowed here. I simply wish they debuted with a better song so I could have stand them since debut, lol.
Baby 나도
It's a cute song, but it's weak for a debut. It sounds more like a promotional B-side to me. Debuting a group with this song was a setup, to be honest. It's kind of forgettable and it was hard to tell their voices apart because of the excessive autotune. It definitely had some impact, but it was a negative one because most people criticized them because of the autotune and because the song sounds a little silly. Also, their comebacks sound nothing like this song, so it makes me think that their agency gave them this song on purpose so they would be talked about and go trending, even if it was in a negative way. Now people already forgot about them, even though they had great comebacks, so yeah, they definitely needed a better debut. I think it's a shame that their debut song was I Like You and not something that showed their true concept from the beginning. If they debuted with something different they would be more famous and relevant now. I like Red Velvet, but this song is too repetitive and kinda annoying, lmao. I feel like they could have debuted with something so much better because SM is generally really good at producing iconic debuts. Replay by SHINee, Mama by EXO, Black Mamba by aespa and so on. I just pretend Red Velvet debuted with Ice Cream Cake. I feel like Happiness didn't have that big of an impact because people barely talk about it when discussing the best K-pop debuts. It's a cute song, but it's such a weak and forgettable debut. I feel like there was no impact. Nobody really talks about this song or group, and it was definitely a bad decision to make them debut with such a simple song. BAE173 have two former X1 members and the group is still very underrated, so I think the agency didn't do a good job with them. They could have made them debut with a fierce concept or something more likable. They should take notes from Starship, because they made sure to give Gravity and I've good songs and a great concept, and both groups have a very solid fandom. If BAE173 had a better debut and better comebacks, lol, this group could easily be famous. It's such a shame because they have got great potential, but the agency wasted it.
Boombayah. Yeah, 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 boombayah.
I have a love-hate relationship with this song. I know it's iconic, but for me it's definitely a skip. It's not my style at all. I love the verses but the chorus is such a letdown. Many people love this song, so it was definitely a great song choice, but I personally don't go crazy over it. I low-key wanted them to debut with Whistle but, realistically, it wouldn't have had the same impact as boombayah. So yeah, in conclusion YG chose the title well, but I still personally don't love it. It's a great song, and I actually love it, but the quality is so bad. It definitely could have been produced better. The potential is insane, but I guess their agency didn't have much budget at the time so they had to lower the music's quality. Also this debut wasn't strong enough because I don't see anyone talking about it. VOV has a pretty complicated story. Many members left and then other members joined the group, so most people think Venus is their debut because it's the first song with the current lineup. Anyway, I can't really blame the agency because it probably had financial issues, but their debut still remains basically unknown. The MV doesn't even have 600k views. Their vampire concept had great potential, but the execution was not that great. Don't hate me guys, but this song is not my style at all. The chorus gives me a headache, I'm not even joking. I just wish they debuted with a strong song such as Why Not or So What. But overall I admit that their agency made a good choice because Hi had great success and it's often mentioned when talking about iconic debuts. Loona are pretty successful and have a strong fan base. So, yeah, it was definitely a great debut, but in my opinion I still don't think it's a great song.
We go thumbs up, thumbs up, say what thumbs up, chicken say what bum bum bum.
I already mentioned in some videos that I really wanted to stan this group, but their debut song didn't really catch my attention. I love this kind of music, but for some reason this song didn't stand out. I love noise music but this specific type of noise seems too bland and boring, if it makes sense. I rarely see people talking about this group, so they definitely needed a better song, maybe something more sophisticated. I feel like a lot of agencies want to play it safe and debut their groups with kinda generic songs, like this one, but it's not a smart move since they are most likely to get no impact and they won't be able to build a big fan base. Their comeback Fuego, Burn It Up, was already better and more fun to listen to, so I low-key wish they debuted with that song instead. For now I'll just wait to see what they'll bring to the table next. This is one of the most annoying songs in K-pop, sorry. Cignature has such amazing songs, but this one is not it. I feel like they could have become very big if only the agency chose better music. C9 is usually great with debut songs, Movie Star by CIX, Lockdown by Apex, but they didn't really do justice to my girls. I feel like Cignature definitely need better management and the agency needs to choose a concept for them. It almost seems like they're just giving them random songs without a concept or storyline. While CIX and Apex have a different concept every comeback, they're still able to maintain a distinct style and sound. Cignature, on the other hand, have a different concept every comeback, but it doesn't seem planned since they still don't have a distinct color. I hope it makes sense, but maybe it's just my personal impression. I know that this song has got a lot of positive impact blah blah, but I simply don't really like it. For me it's a skip. I already mentioned that I have a love-hate relationship with Pirate King, and I low-key wish they debuted with Treasure, since I started standing ateez after listening to Treasure. Anyway, they still had a lot of impact and they managed to build a decent fan base during their debut era, so we can say KQ made a good choice for their debut song, so I can't really complain. Their pirate concept was just a breath of fresh air and they managed to stand out in the 4th gen, which is really hard since there are plenty of groups debuting every day. Yeah, overall it's a really loved song and I acknowledge the popularity, it's just not for me. As I said for Wendy, I really hate when main vocalists debut with boring ballad songs. Soyeon and Yuki both had incredible solo debuts, so I had very high expectations for Miyeon, but I was left disappointed. This song is just so basic, generic, and bland. She has such a nice voice and I think she deserved a better solo debut song. This song is a huge skip for me, I'm so sorry. Monsta X started with a hip-hop vibe, and now they have a more mature sound with a lot of EDM. I personally prefer their mature music, Jealousy, Dramarama, Love Killa. I feel like their debut wasn't really that impactful, K-pop stans rarely talk about Trespass when discussing the best debuts, and it's not one of their most popular songs. I wish they debuted with a different song, maybe with Hero or something more exciting. I just wish they debuted with something less silly, to be honest. I know they were very young, but they could still have debuted with something like My First and Last or We Young. I don't know, Chewing Gum is an iconic song, but I don't really listen to it. I'm not a big fan of cute concepts, so maybe that's why I would prefer something more refreshing or exciting. It definitely had a great impact, but it's my least favorite title from NCT Dream. Well, this is the end of the video. As you could see, I was just trying to give constructive criticism to these groups, so please don't attack me. Anyway, feel free to comment about the debuts that you personally disliked. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
My baby says she wanna dance with the ghost. She wants to leave me, yeah. 말을 해줘, 맘에